make sure you like and subscribe if you want to, but always comment for the algorithm, because that definitely helps get these videos out to more people in more places. And also, make sure you stick around to the very end of this video. I think you're going to... What's going on, guys? I have prepared what I think to be pretty eye-opening, pretty amazing video for you guys today. But before we get into the nitty-gritty of this video, I want to give a brief update on the previous video that I had done about Plasma App Ltd. So on the 4th, they came out, MetaMaterials came out with a press release stating they had purchased a company called Plasma Fusion, or PAL, the developer of Plasma Fusion, for $20 million, roughly 10.8 million shares to be dispersed into the market. Now, what happened was there's two founders of the company, and they dispersed those shares to those people. Now, these founders are going to be long-term holders, in my opinion, I think. Main reason being, they've got a lot of vested interest in the company that we acquired, and I'm sure they want to see their proprietarism and their inventions go a long way. So they're going to hold on to these shares because they're invested in MetaMaterials as well now. So when they release these shares, these 10.8 million shares, first and foremost, the one thing you got to understand is it's not all being released at once. About 9.5 million shares are released now to these owners, and the remaining shares will be released at a specific date, which if you go into the filings, you'll see all of that as well. But that was done at the dollar cost average of, I believe it was $1.86, and that was over the course of a day and a half, 2 days worth of trading. Now, here's the questions that were asked. Are these shares required to be held for a specific amount of time? From the data that I have gathered, no. These are free traded shares, which means they can do as they please with them. But again, I'm pretty sure these guys are bullish on MetaMaterials, and they're going to be holding these for a long time. I would assume we will see more than likely some sort of a filing come out to show their current holdings in the company, how many shares these founders of PAL hold each, because they are going to be considered insiders. They have a substantial amount of shares in the company as of now. So I would expect to be seeing that soon. And one of the other questions were, I'm sorry, I'm looking because I wrote it all down. Does this come off of the $100 million offering? No, it does not. So that is carried over from Torchlight. So this would have nothing to do with that. That $100 million offering that is still on the table. At any given time, MetaMaterials can utilize shares for up to $100 million of an at-the-money offering at any time. And of course, we do know that. Nothing to worry about. I don't really think that they're in any position to need to do that at the present moment in time. They're very cash flush as of now. Ken even said in the last major interview that, well, I should say in the 10K report, that they should have enough cash to take them through 2024, which is fantastic. That's a lot of time for them to build up more revenues, build up more contracts, and everything else. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and do an end, and then we're going to start into the main video. And also, just so you know, you're going to want to stay tuned for this entire video. I think I may have uncovered an amazing find with all of this. So just stay tuned.
What's up, YouTube? My name is Uncle Smokey, and this is Uncle Smokey Stock Trades. And before I start this video, I would like to say I am not a financial advisor, and this is not financial advice. So please take what I say with a grain of salt and do your own DD.
What's going on? Today we're going to talk about ticker symbol MMAT, but it's not going to be your typical talk like we normally do. I am going to talk about the stock a little bit, of course, the indices a little bit, but I have got some great information. We're going to consider this a little bit more of a hype piece. I've done a little bit of due diligence on the most recent PR that has come out, and I think I've got a little bit of information that all of you are going to happen to find quite interesting. And it might even open up quite a few eyes on what's going on with metamaterials on the inside overall. So let's get right to it. To start off the day, we're going to go ahead and look at the SPY, the NASDAQ, and the Dow. Our three major indices. These are the things we look at to judge what the sectors are going to be doing and also what the individual stocks will be doing as well. You look to the indices. So the SPY on Friday did finish down about about a quarter of a percent. NASDAQ down 1.75%, and the Dow finishing down about 0.5%. So overall, we did see a little bit of a downturn on the market since about midweek on. And that was first and foremost, we had the Fed come out, a couple of the members, the dovish members come out talking about how there's a really good chance for a higher interest rate hike in the very near future. Now, we won't see anything here in April unless they come out with an emergency meeting, but we do have our next interest rate hike, our FOMC meeting coming up in May. And when that happens, you can probably expect to see about a 0.5% increase, if not, or 50 basis point increase, if not more than that, at that meeting. So that could have been one of the reasons why we saw a lot of downturn in the markets overall. A lot of fear. So there was some risk-off trading going on. Now, also, you got to keep in mind geopolitical news. You've got the Russia-Ukraine stuff going on. You've got energy crisis. You know, there's so many things happening. You've got China going back into major lockdowns for COVID restrictions, which in turn will shut down a lot of factories, a lot of plants, which again hurts the supply chain. So there's so many different things going on in the world that absolutely you're going to see some issues. Now, if I can happen to find my internet here. There we go. So, as you can see, stock market news, live updates, stocks in choppy session mixed with Fed in focus. Main reason being, you've got, like I said, the two big ones, the Dove ones, came out and spoke during the week saying, hey, this might not be as gentle as we thought it was going to be. Now, upcoming, we do have on, Monday, we have Governor Michael W. Bowman coming out talking a little bit about the interest rates and stuff like that. And also on Tuesday, you're going to have a little bit about that as well, coming from Lael Brainerd. Now, this was the Dove that came out and said that, expect higher rate hikes. So they're going to be talking about the economy as well. And those are some of the things that you're going to look for market sentiment to change, either up or down, when the Fed members physically speak on the economy. So just keep that in mind. Also, we do have CPI data coming out on Tuesday, so be looking for that as well. And take a look at the futures. So as of right now, it looks like we have a downtrend in the futures, down 56 base points on the Dow Mini. S&P Mini is down 12. NASDAQ Mini is down 56.25. And the Russell Mini down 5. In all honesty, that is not a lot to worry about. I would almost even consider those flat. We're going to wait to see what happens in the morning, see where the futures lead us in the morning, and that will actually give us a little bit of a tell on what we could expect throughout the day. Now, a little bit of metamaterials talk. Let's go back to the charts really quick. Right there. So, we're on the 5-minute chart, and as we know, we had a downturn on the day. In fact, we had a downturn on the week overall. We did not have too great a week after that major PR came out right here. I wonder why that is. That was fantastic information that we got. That was great news. A downturn overall on great news probably wasn't metamaterials' fault. As a matter of fact, we know it wasn't. We saw the entire market do that. And because of the market moving down, it changed the sentiment. And because the sentiment changed, it created a change in what metamaterials are doing. But you got to always zoom out. When you're in doubt, zoom out and look at what's happening. We are still in very good shape. We are currently still trading in a beautiful channel that we have been in for quite a while now. Look at all of this, all of these trading days, all the way out. Pretty amazing, right? How we've been respecting this between $1.40 and $2 channel quite well. So I am in no way, shape, or form concerned. We are currently bouncing off that 78.6% retracement line. I would love to see it lift off of this level, but if it doesn't, no worries, guys. We have that super strong line in the sand that was drawn a while back at $1.38. If we continue the downtrend, I would expect to see that be our next strong bounce marker. Not to worry, loading zone. always remember, if you're convicted in any stock, and this is not a buy or sell rating or a hold rating, but if you're convicted in any stock, anytime it makes a move to a downward position into a still technical level of support, that is always a key level of buy, okay? Again, I'm not telling you to buy, but this area right here is a loading zone. You can tell because every time it hits it, it bounces. Every time it gets down in there, it bounces. So take it for what you will. Take it with a grain of salt. This is where I like to pick up more metamaterials shares at the present moment in time. But in all honesty, in my personal opinion, anything below $15 is a steal. And we are at like basement bargain shopping levels right now. All right. All in all, not a whole lot to talk about on the stock. Let's go to the 1 day just so we can get a really good grasp of what's going on as far as it goes with the length of time. So we are currently in between our 13 and 21 time frames on the Fibonacci time zones. As you can see, we are still in that slight downtrend. Now, like I had said before, in these Fibonacci's, it will have the pull down and bounce in between the 13 and 21. It'll actually make a full corrective move in this time zone. We are seeing that. It's actually playing out kind of like I'm planning it out for it to play. Remember, I'm learning as you learn. So as I learn things, I spread the knowledge, and that's what I've been trying to do. And this is called back testing. I'm doing it on a stock that I'm familiar with. I'm doing it on a chart that I know, that I can read like the back of my hand. So I'm back testing a theory. I'm back testing the way this works. And as I learn, I'm giving it to you. And again, here's my back test on what I've learned about it. It is currently making that down move, and I'm waiting for it to make the bounce to correct up to that 21 time frame. Little bit of information. These are... I can't remember what the term was now. Dang it. Oh, well, stupid me. But they're natural numbers. So basically it's like 8 and 13, 13, 5 and 8 gets you 13, 8 and 13 gets you 21, and then it would be 13 and 21 will take you to your next one. So if you move it on out, there's 34. So they're natural numbers. They're naturally occurring numbers. It just means it's the number that you took from the previous one, and you add them together. And then that gets you your next time. So anyway, moving on. As you can tell, we are still down here on the MACD. We are pushing down. The MACD line is pushing away from the signal line. That is kind of a bearish sentiment. So that just shows you that we still have the chance of more pull downs. Don't sweat it. Loading zones. That's how I look at that. All right. Moving on past this, I think I'm done talking about the charts. I know I'm done talking about the charts. Moving over to the internet. So, Ortex. Oh, crap. What just happened there? Oops. Ortex is showing the utilizations at 100%. The cost to borrow is currently sitting at 6.72%, and the days to cover all of the shares on loan is at 9 days. Currently, there is 51.68 million shares on loan, which is 20.38% of the free float. And the NASDAQ, as of a few days ago, is showing 40.11 million shares are short into the market, which is 15.94% of the overall free float. And you'll notice that the average number of days on loan is still sitting right at that 70-day mark at 69.65 days. And it hasn't come down. And it's not going to, guys. And the reason why is because there is no reason for them to cover at this present moment in time. There isn't much of a push, but it's coming. The one thing you got to keep in mind is all of this information is basically wrong. We don't really know the true numbers because Ortex doesn't factor in, neither does Fintel, factor in the institutional owners into the free float and outstanding share count. They never consider them unless they're an active investor as a long-term holder. They're passive. So just always keep that in mind. We have companies, long-term investors in there, mutual funds in there that will be holding this for years to come. So just always remember that the free float is incorrect. It's always incorrect. Also, you have to keep in mind MMAX. When that converts over, that's going to crush our free float. Insiders alone holding 70 million shares of MMAX. When that converts, it's locked. It's done. It's over. You're looking at one of the biggest squeezes, in my opinion, that history's ever seen. And that's just, again, my opinion. All right, moving on past Ortex, let's move on into Fintel really quick. 88.28 on the short squeeze score, 151 out of the 5,500 stocks on this list. And as you guys know, I really don't care too much about the short squeeze score. This is just a bunch of matrix that are put together. It's math. It's an algorithm. The gamma squeeze score, now I do pay a little bit more attention to this just because this is a little bit closer, a little bit tighter of an algorithm. You'll notice that there's only 420 stocks on this gamma squeeze score. That's because it takes a different approach in the algorithm. It's looking at the delta, it's looking at the theta, it's looking at the open interest. It's actually looking at different matrix overall in this gamma squeeze score. So I do take the gamma squeeze score with a little bit more seriousness. And since we're looking at that gamma squeeze score, that means we need to look at our options chain. As you can tell, and I have been talking about this a little bit, we are coming up on options expiration. That is going to be on Friday. So you can see that the $2 strike is now moved up to 15,000 in open interest. The $3 strike is now sitting at 15,690 in open interest. 9,500 at the $4 strike, 7,500 at the $5 strike, 5,500 at the $6 strike. And as you can see, this is getting to be pretty damn serious. We've got millions and millions of shares that are going to need to be accounted for if they run into the money. Now, in order for them to run into the money, we're going to need a little bit of PR. We're going to need a little bit of stuff to happen. Is it possible to happen? Sure. Is it likely? Probably not. So I don't want anybody to get these hopes up that we're going to have this big major gamma squeeze, that we're going to be bringing all of these numbers and these strikes into the money. Probably not, guys. This is a long-term hold. If some big PR comes out, absolutely. You could definitely see major price action which would cause this. But does it mean it's going to happen? No. But I don't rule out maybe running up to that $3 mark. I do not rule that out. That is an absolute possible thing that could happen. All you need is volume. You need market sentiment to change. You need the market sentiment to be pushing north. People need to realize what I'm about getting ready to tell you guys is huge for the company. And then you'll see big price action. No joke. A little bit of PR will go a long way. Okay, moving on back over to the good old internet. Here we are. All right, moving on down. 100,000 shares currently available to be lent from a leading prime brokerage. And of course, this is across the dark pools. This is the unlit exchanges. 6.31% short borrow fee rate according to Fintel. Now, here's that short sale volume. This is the off-exchange stuff. This is all provided by FINRA, which, as we know, FINRA regulates the dark pools, the unlit exchanges, the Citadels, the Virtues, all those guys. So 67.03% of the volume that came out of the dark pool was short. Not half, almost 3/4, guys. Almost 3/4. Usually I would be referred to Chart Exchange to confirm all of this information. They're actually showing it to be a little bit lower across all of the exchanges, and they're not showing what Fintel is showing for the FINRA off-exchange numbers. I generally rely on Chart Exchange more than Fintel, so I'm going to take the total short volume reported from Chart Exchange and utilize that at 65.76% of the overall volume on Friday was short. Not to mention, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, you got almost 70, and almost 70. They're beating it down on purpose. So just because the market turned red, and yes, I always say this, that we move with the markets, you can obviously tell that short positions take advantage of the stock as well when the markets turn down, because they know they can grab a hold of it and pull it down even further. They will be using a lot of short exempt volume as well to be doing that. And if we go over to Fintel, you can see that the short exempt volume was right around 40,000 on Friday. Now, not so much on the days before that, but on Monday it was. That was pretty good short exempt volume right there on Monday, even though the short volume was low. We were skyrocketing on Monday. We had great momentum on Monday. They were trying to hide shorting on great momentum using short exempt. Oh no, nothing to see here. Don't worry about that. Ignore it. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and move past that. We're going to ignore it because what I want to talk about is I think it's going to trump all of this information. It takes a lot of time to get really good information out there, information that you can rely on. I've not been one to speculate too much. I will, retweet some DD. I will definitely point out some really cool stuff, but I've done a little bit of due diligence on this one. I think I'm going to surprise you guys. Oh, and this right here, this is just the insider trading. I was checking to see if anything's been listed as of yet for our new holders of metamaterials, and I don't see anything as of yet on here. But let's move on. So, let's make it so everybody can see it because that's kind of big. Meta appoints new EVP and expands organizational structure to accelerate growth, strengthen pipeline, and increase productivity. This is extremely important. I'm going to read this to you. I don't normally do this word for word. Pay attention. Let's get to the important part. Developer of high-performance functional materials and nanocomposites announced today an expanded organizational structure and product development model designed to support the company's innovation, growth, and productivity ambitions as a focused advanced materials and semiconductor solutions provider in the coming decade. So this is, as you can see, long-term hold. They tell you, give us 10 years. Watch what's going to happen. All right. Central to this initiative, Meta also announced that Dr. John Yanis Antonitis, I'm sorry if I murdered your name, I really didn't try to, has joined the company as Executive Vice President, Head of Engineering and Electro-Optical and Infrared Systems, EO/IR, based in new U.S. office in Maryland, which is planned to open in a few weeks. Dr. Anatitis brings over 35 years of experience in the system, hardware, and software development of advanced technology systems for a wide variety of applications, and he has demonstrated leadership in the academic, government, and private sectors. As head of engineering, he will be responsible for building and leading a team to drive product, engineering, and Meta's growth portfolio of technologies to become more vertically integrated in high-growth use cases such as smart cities, 5G, automotive, and metaverse applications. The expanded organizational structure we are announcing today is central to our growth strategy as it will make us more agile and competitive, enhance product scale-up execution, unlock significant potential in our R&D pipeline, and drive value creation through operational efficiencies. George Palikaris, president of CEO and Meta. Furthermore, we are excited to open the new facility in the coming weeks, strategically located in Maryland. Listen, guys, home to leading healthcare organizations, top aerospace and defense companies, hundreds of research centers, and dozens of federal agencies. With our growing portfolio of innovative solutions and 5 major in-house proprietary technologies, Meta is in a strong position to deliver robust mid and long-term sales and margin growth. That is a forward-looking statement right there, guys, from the CEO of Meta Materials. That is extremely bullish information, and the stock did not act appropriately. It got beat on. It got hammered on. And it was because there's enough fear and there was enough doubt going on in the markets. And remember, algorithms read sentiment from Twitter, from StockTwits, from Reddit, from Facebook, from YouTube. They read this stuff. They trade off of emotion. They love it. So when you seen that, when the algorithms seen that, they drove on it. Now, let me get to the important part of this. What you need to know is Dr. Antonitis comes from a very important company, BAE Systems. BAE Systems, right here. From 2003 to 2015, Dr. Anatitis served as the BAE Systems Fellow for ISR and as the Director of ISR Technology Development for tactical, spectacle, and real-time full-motion video imaging systems for dual-use applications. Does anybody know what that is? If anybody knows what it is, you can't answer me because we're not live. Ha! No. Anyway, I'm going to tell you right now. BAE Systems. If you see what's on my screen, you're looking at a plane, you're looking at a ship, you're looking at a lot of federal government stuff. Take a look at this. The incredible U.S. military spy drone that's so powerful it can see what type of phone you're carrying from 17,500 feet. Take a look at when this was written. In 2013. Guess who was a part of this really, really cool thing that I'm getting ready to show you? Right on down here. Where's your name at? I just saw it a minute ago. Oh, there it is. Mr. Antoniditis, right here. And we're looking at Argos. This is Argos, guys. What is Argos? Well, an autonomous real-time ground ubiquitous surveillance imaging system, Argos IS. He is one of the leading creators of a very special camera that was designed for the U.S. government to be able to spy on people. There's actually a little video out there, and I'm going to find out if I can actually post this video, just a snippet of it, that actually gives a really good interview of this. Dr. Yanis comes out and he actually does this for us, and it's on YouTube, but you have to pay to get it. I'm going to put a link to it in the description of this video, but I'm going to see if I can just record it. Somebody has to pay for it. It's just like a little 3-minute spot or 6-minute spot. I'm going to see if I can do that. I won't be able to be monetized, but I'm going to put it on a completely separate video so you guys can watch it. So anyway, this is huge, guys. This thing here, it goes on the bottom of these big manless planes. They're drones. They're huge, and they fly over and they're able to spot things. And the technology has come a long way since then. Now, Yanis no longer works for them. He's not with them any longer, but that's okay. He still holds the ability to contact these people. Anytime that we get somebody like this that comes from a company like BAE or PAL or Google or anything like that, you better believe that they come with a arsenal of firepower. They still have contacts with these people. Dr. Anatonis may still carry his government clearance. He alone opens up the pipeline for us to have more government contracts because he's already dealt with the government. He has built trust with them. He's going to be able to go to the Pentagon and say, hey, look what I got. This new material is capable of doing this, this, and this. I've already adapted it to this. All right. Smart cities, cameras, 5G, all of that stuff. Picture this. So if you look into this stuff, this is able to map moving and stationary. Argos can watch a person walk down the street, watch a car drive down the road, and at the same time image one still image all moving at the same time. And early on in its technology, it was able to do something like 64 or 65 images at once. It could track it all at once. And I'm sure now it could do way more. As well as we've shrunk it down from this gigantic thing on the bottom of a plane to, it can go on drones now, small flight, just remote control. Okay. So what's stopping them from being able to take this technology and expanding it through a smart city, making it basically so that everything is linked together? So imagine this. Imagine you're driving down the road in your smart car, and all of a sudden you want to engage autonomous driving. Well, as of right now, autonomous driving isn't exactly the safest thing in the world because there's flaws. It doesn't have a way to fully link everything. But MetaMaterials has the ability to spread that across all devices, basically utilizing every surface to be able to map out everything around you, making autonomous driving a lot more realistic, almost using ping devices, utilizing this technology from Argos, utilizing everything around you, as well as being able to charge individual things. I mean, MetaMaterials technology is so advanced, so alien, it's unreal. I mean, and that's the truth of it. This is linking that smart city, and I do believe that Dr. Antonitis is going to be one of the keys to that link, to making all of this possible. So just keep that in mind. Also, here's the other thing you want to look at: the lot network. So this is a very important thing to keep in mind as well. I've talked about the lot network over and over and over again. BAE Systems is in the lot network, which means we now have the ability for all of our patents to kind of link together. So again, we've pulled people from companies that are on the lot network. We're pulling huge talent, major talent. We're creating this gigantic pipeline. We have established so many good things going on. I mean, I can't even get it all out. So I've tried to record this video 4 times now for you guys, and I'm telling you, I'm so flabbergasted with everything I'm seeing. This is amazing. Lot Network links companies together. We have pulled people from companies that are in the Lot Network. We're utilizing their knowledge, not IPs from other companies, the knowledge that they have brought over time from other companies to adapt it into metamaterials tech, to be able to take that tech and put it everywhere. What exactly is metamaterials trying to disrupt? Everything. And that's what I got for you guys today. So please make sure you like and subscribe to my channel. Make sure that you're sharing these videos. I think this one's going to be extremely important, guys. Remember, we have just unlocked a huge, huge, huge thing for us for the very near and long-term future. I truly believe that this might have been one of the big PRs that got overlooked, and it might be the key to it all. And I cannot wait to see the Twitter DD and StockTwits DD that's getting ready to come out after this video hits. Peace, guys.